Hello guys, how you doing today? It's the Car Crazy Guy here. It's been a while since I've uploaded a video. I was a little busy, but I planned on doing one soon. But today is the day I'm going to do it. And today I'm going to review this 2018 Honda Accord 2.0 Touring. And let's get into it and take a look at it. And if you've noticed here, you can see the headlights. They kind of look almost like an animal's eye, very jewelistic. Same thing with the fog lights. And of course in the front here, you have the Honda sensing radar sensor. And this beautiful color is, I believe they call it the White Orchid Pearl. Correct me if I'm not right on this one. And you do have some 19-inch wheels. Pretty good size. I think they're 235/40 This particular car does have the standard for this particular model. Just grab the door handle, you can open it up, and this one here has the light colored interior, which I personally believe that the light interiors and the dark accenting just looks magnificent. This one also has the optional rubberized floor mats. The seating here, it's perforated. Let me get a little closer for you. It's also heated and cooled. It also has the tablet style nav system, which is kind of modern. Some people either love it or hate it. I personally like it. And this one here, instead of the actual normal gear selector, you have buttons. You have your park, reverse, neutral, drive, econ, if you're really into that scene, as well as a sport button. You have your parking. It's an electronic parking brake. And then you also have your brake hold. And when you activate it, you just simply come to a stop and take your foot off the brake, and the car will not move until you hit the gas pedal. Handy for those in stop and go traffic. Let's get inside of it and take a look at it. And we'll go ahead and turn it on. And this car, and I think all the Accords have the same dash panel, so we'll go ahead and start it up. And let's go ahead and shut the door here. Okay, and this is your sort of your standard gauge. You can come down here and you can change using this button here, and you can change your settings. So I think at the top of the range we've got the tachometer, which is where it's at now. Then of course you have range and fuel, show you that, speed and time, audio, you can see what's playing there. We'll go to the next one, phone, got that disconnected, navigation, traffic sign. It also has a camera in the front that recognizes traffic signs under ideal conditions. I guess during rain and nighttime it may not pick it up. Shows you your speed limit, and I think that was the last sign it read. Driving support, and in this particular case you have a whole full suite of driving aids. Kind of gives you an attention meter, so when you get tired it starts to alert you. Your maintenance, 100% oil life, safety and support, and these are where you have your driving assistance features. You have the lane keeping assistance, front collision, and I think the other one is, you know what, I don't know the names to all these because I'm so new to this, but there's 3 different main systems that are on. You can see them. Backing out of that, and of course you have warnings, and there are none. Very cool. Let's see what else. Okay, so we get to the main head unit, and you have your navigation, your phone, your settings, FM, and you can see all the different ones. You move to the right. It also has an AT&T hotspot, Sirius XM. This model, since the top of the line, pretty much has every single option. Honda Link, and what that is, it's similar to GM's OnStar. You also have, and I'll let it load up here, and I'll show you above, your phone connection status, diagnostic, and location. Up here, let's move that up here. You can see right there, you have your link and your assist. Of course, this does have a sunroof as well. I'll open that up. It's not a pano roof, it's just simply a standard size sunroof. I'll go ahead and close that. Although, I have to say though, the way this little opening is, it's kind of awkward to open. Easier to close than open. And we'll go back to the infotainment screen again, and we'll go backwards here. And it has an NFC manager, and I think this has to do with Android phones, where you hold your phone up to this little N here, and somehow you can pair your device with it. Down here, this is your climate control. It's got heated and cooled seats. As you can see right now, the cooled seat's on. And if I push the heated side, it shows you got the heat on here, and then you've got your cool. And it makes a little fan noise too. They've got 3 settings. Down here, in this particular cubby, it has a wireless charging mat. And when you place your phone in there, that light will turn yellow, I guess, until it's fully charged. You also have a USB and a power outlet. Glove box. It is dampened, but it isn't felt lined. And you can see it's not very big, but it's doable. And get a good view of the dashboard here. It has a very low dash, kind of reminiscent of the old Accords. The older Accords, and I had a 1990, had a very low dash. As they got newer and newer, the dash just got higher and higher, and your vision outward wasn't that great. Now, this car, although it's kind of based more towards the luxury side, has this very convincing open pore wood. Now, this is not real, of course. It looks like you can see grains in here, but it's smooth. It's really plastic. I guess they did a pretty good job at it. I'm pretty impressed because it really looks convincing. You can see that. So, I guess we're not going to touch that. Most people are just going to visually look at it. Now up here, this is a soft touch. Same thing with down here, and the same thing here. That is hard right in this area here. And then of course you've got your switches here. Nice touch with the aluminum trim on the ends of it. Mirror, when you place it in reverse, it does tilt down, provided you keep your mirror on the right side setting. So we'll go ahead and test that, show you. Put it in reverse here, I'll show you. Hit that button, and then you can see the mirror kind of tilted down. I'll put it back into drive, and that annoying noise is telling you that if you back up anymore, you're going to run into that garage door. So we'll put it back, and the mirror tilts back up. Very cool. Now, it does show all apps, and there's some things in here I've never understood, like mail, and that, of course, doesn't show you anything because it says there's no account associated with it, and I have no idea how to add one. I guess that's a question for like their tech support. And then you go back to your home, and that's basically where you end up. On the steering wheel, it has a very nice, smooth, high quality leather, unlike the Fusion, which is kind of a rough pebbly texture. This is very smooth. Pretty impressive. It feels really super quality, and it doesn't have a flat bottom, but it almost appears that way. You have this trim here, this nice aluminum, fake plastic aluminum trim here. And then of course you have your volume up and downs. This here is for that left LCD, and the right is actually an actual gauge. Your gas, fuel levels, that actually tells you in an LCD readout what your fuel level is. Same thing with the temperature. And I'll go ahead and put it in sport mode. I should have done that first. But hey, I'm just a novice with this YouTube stuff. So we'll go ahead and push that. And as you do that, you can see that it actually gives you a boost gauge. So we'll go ahead and get out of the warnings here. We'll go back to the tachometer, and I'll step on the gas a little bit so you can see it's right now. It's probably in not boost, but of course in vacuum, so you can see that. And I don't know if this is going to be visible enough for you now, but yes, you can probably see it. But it does actually have a heads-up display. I think the Camry does as well. And let's see here. See if we can zoom in on that. I have a DJI Osmo, and I'm not very familiar with its use, but let's see if we can take a look at the different HUD settings here. So what I'm seeing is the tach speed limit sign and the actual miles an hour. That's another mode. Here's another one, shows the lane keeping assist and the cruise control. That one shows your compass, and back to your tachometer. Like I said, it's tough to see because it is projecting it on the windshield, and it is daytime, so it's not easy to actually see on the camera, but you can see it. All right, and then of course down here, come down low here, and I don't think my gimbal likes that angle, so we'll go ahead and move down here. And right here, that's your HUD switch, your trip, that's your setting also for, I guess that's the brightness control. Below that, those are your safety settings, traction control, and your parking sensors, which is on. Now the rear of this vehicle is very, very spacious. Also, by the way, it does have an auto-dimming mirror. And of course you have your home link underneath there and those buttons there. Not sure if you can see that. There you go. Of course your vanity mirrors are lighted. Don't believe they're LEDs. I guess it's time for an upgrade. I do have the bulbs, but the bulbs I have are too bright, so it's probably best I go with a single LED bulb instead of a dual. And you can see the trim on the dash. This car has, I think it's 12 speakers, 12 or 11. There's a subwoofer in this car. And then you can see the seating, really nicely stitched. Very impressive. And I think I see a little dirt on there. But since it's leather, it'll definitely come out. But it has a nice upscale look to it. And the problem with light colored interiors are they do get dirty a lot faster. Now, let's go ahead and step out. I'll show you the rear of the vehicle. The rear part of the cabin, that is. No sensors on this door handle, which is kind of disappointing. But this is behind me, and I have the seat set to my preference. And you can see there's a lot of space between here. I mean, literally, you can see there's tons of space. Headroom's a little tight if you're taller. And that is the seat in this normal position for the passenger. I think it's pretty close to the driver's side. Of course, you have these floor mats in here as well. These are optional. Same perforated, and I believe these have outboard heating. And that's your switch there. I haven't noticed that. Push that, and you've got 3 levels, which is very unusual. And in this circumstance, hard plastic, fake wood, hard plastic, soft plastic, and then a soft touch there. And of course, you have your window switch with that nice accenting as well. And then here's the top. Got your sunroof. And then I'll go ahead and show you the trunk. And let's see if this car will make those funny noises when you shut the door and the key's not inside. Yep. So we'll go ahead and pop that trunk open here. Come to the rear of the car and you can see it. know the rear for some people is a little controversial. I guess over time it'll grow on most people. It does have LED. The only things that are not LED in this particular case, the turn signal and the backup lights. But the lights do come through here and there, and I don't know if this part is illuminated upon braking, so I haven't seen yet. You do have LEDs as standard for the trunk lighting, although it's not on. And this car optionally installed is this cargo net, which requires a little drilling down here in this particular area. There, you got to pull the plugs out and enlarge the hole and then pop those connectors in there. And then of course at the very top you have these hooks, which were just right about here actually. This hook right there. Need a special tool to install a riv nut, which is a headache, so I just used standard bolt and a washer, and then of course attached it from underneath by screwing it all together. We'll come in and give you a different view from this side. Let's see if I can open this door up here without hitting anything. There we go. And you can see the interior without the steering wheel obstructing it. Has a really beautiful look to it. I'm really liking this car. Now, you're probably wondering, why am I talking about this car? I have a Ford Fusion. Unfortunately, I don't any longer, and to tell you the truth, and I know I'm probably going to get a little hate on this, but I'm a little disgusted with Ford and some of their quality niggles. This is my problem, but I'm kind of a perfectionist, and I really like things to be nice to begin with. Now, if things happen down the road, I can get those fixed. Well, my Ford had an issue with the dash, and it was somewhere in this area here, different shape, of course. There was a bump, and it just wouldn't go away. And the only answer I got from Ford was submit it to Ford, and most likely we'll get it approved, and we'll have to basically tear your whole dash apart. And I thought to myself, you know, if they go ahead and do something like that, I'll bet you money it's never going to be the same. They're going to damage stuff, trim pieces, you name it. It's going to get screwed up. And I thought about it, and I thought, you know what, these guys are right. If it was normally, you know, that you pop the top part of the dash off, and that would be all fine and dandy. But the way they're designed, you can see the older cars had a cutout for the dash, and literally there was like another pad on top of it. In this particular case, that they become cleaner, and they place the airbags inside, and literally you don't see any of that, the old-fashioned one where you'd see the actual airbag sitting on top of the dash, the cover for it. Now it's all integrated, so when it pops, it just tears your dash open, and they, depending on what your car is worth at the time, they've got to go ahead and replace your whole dash panel. So that can get kind of expensive. You know, that's just the way things have become nowadays. Everything's integrated, and you know, that's just how it is. So anyways, I decided at some point I'm gonna hang on to this car for a bit, but the real kicker was one day, and this is just about 3 or 4 days ago, I blew it. I backed my car into the driveway. I came in the house, and it was sticking out probably, I don't know, maybe a couple inches. You know, you can see right now how the car is lined up. The line here, where my foot is, right there is where the door sits, so there's plenty of room, and I always check it. Well, that night, I went in the house, had to take care of something, left the door open because I knew it was sticking out too far, and I have a couple of cats, and they had made a mess in the room where they stay when I'm not home, cleaned it up, then I ordered a pizza, and then I thought, oh God, I gotta hurry, I gotta get over there, so I came out right through here, walked out from my house, came down the little walkway here and around this back of the car and back around to the right to grab my shoes, and then I hit the button, and then it started coming down, and I thought, oh no, crap, oh no, and the thing hit the car, and on the door, I'll show you, there's some rubber, but let's see if we can get it to stay here. There's some rubber, but if you look right about here, Let's see, we'll focus. There's some metal. And that metal struck the car. Since the car wasn't perfectly straight, it only hit a section on the bumper about in this area here, down lower towards here, and it scraped the whole thing up and took a couple of chips with it. Didn't damage this little plastic strip here on the Focus. It's a little bit different. But I took my wax out and I cleaned it up. When I got done with it, it left 2 black dots. I wasn't going to be happy with it. There's no way. I'm never going to be happy with something like that. So either I take this car in and I get it fixed, and I would assume at this point it's probably a $500 to $600 job, because they're going to have to take the bumper off and reshoot it and fix it. And I didn't want to, obviously I didn't want to claim it on my insurance, because who wants a claim? And it's not even worth it, because it's just, all it is just a couple of dots that I've touched up afterwards. And I'll see if I can include a couple pictures. I didn't take a picture of it after it actually struck it, but I did take a picture after I cleaned it up, and another picture after I touched it up. Well, I decided the next day, you know what, I'm gonna buy another car. I wasn't happy with the Fusion, and to tell you the truth, it kind of jaded my feelings about Ford. So I decided I'm not gonna buy another Ford. Although what I would have bought if I had bought another Ford was the Fusion Sport. Problem with the Fusion Sport is it's a very heavy car, and a lot of people complain about its handling. And in addition to that, mileage is pretty lousy. They said it just, most people expected more out of it. My friend bought one. It feels very fast, but I don't know. After experiencing some issues with the car, I had in the area of normally where these little panels meet, like right in here, chipping that was on the opposite side, the driver's side. I had a dealer, I didn't pay, I paid out of pocket because the dealer wanted to set me up with their body shop, and I have a good body shop. So I paid somebody about $160 to fix it, and it came out, you know, imperceptible. You can't see what happened. But it was all chipping and peeling in between there, because when they place these panels together, they just, well, they're just too tight. And I'm sure this Honda is no different, but different brand, different philosophy, different building techniques. No chips on this, no scratches, no scuffs, not a mark on it. It's like, and no dash problems. It's like perfect. It's like, you know, so I picked the white one, and I love this color because it's a really, really nice pearl. And let's see if I can get a shot, because I think we're losing our sun here. But it has a lot of neat little colors in it. Sparklies. Let's see if we can get something out of it. You kind of get the gist. You can see, I can see some purples and greens in there, stuff like that. I don't want to get too close because I don't want to scratch my car. Okay, so anyways, what happened was I took it over to the Honda dealership and said, I'm interested in your car. And what I used, and I'll just give you some of my buying techniques, is I used TrueCar. Excuse me. TrueCar. Just placed a quote with them. I got about 3 quotes back, 2 or 3 quotes. The cheapest quote I got was actually from AutoNation Valencia Honda here in Santa Clarita. They gave me, I think it was around $3,300 off sticker. As you know, Hondas, there are no rebates. Hondas don't sell to fleets. Hondas are more expensive to begin with, and there's not much discounting, so you're gonna pay more for a Honda. However, the reason why I went with the Honda, I just didn't trust the Ford any longer. The Ford, I don't know, I just felt jilted by them. So I decided to go with a Japanese brand, and I'm always saying I'm gonna buy American and all that good stuff, but I guess in this case, this thing is built in America and owned by a Japanese car company. And I've had Hondas in the past, I love them. But anyways, took the car in and got that price, and then I brought my trade-in to them and talked to them, and well, it started out around $15,100, and as we talked more and more and more, we got them to the highest price I could get them to, which was $17,000. And remind you, I paid about $20,600, so it was a little small hit, but I just wanted out of it. I just was tired of it. I was tired of the little issues with it, and I'm just ready for something just a little bit nicer. So I went to another dealership that I sold my Focus to. They offered me, they were starting out around the $13,000 range, and said they couldn't really do much more than that. Maybe they could get to 15, but I showed them my quote from Honda, and they said, just go back there because we're never going to be able to come close to that. So I went back, I made the deal, and I brought this guy home. Used my detailing spray, although I haven't waxed it yet, and to tell you the truth, it doesn't really need it, but I'll get there with it. Just want to get any type of dirt and debris off of it. So I made the deal about 3 days ago, brought it home. Great car, and here's my driving impressions. The Fusion was a nice car, and it drove smooth, and it was very quiet inside. It had a lot of power, but this car is to a whole new level. It's hunkered down, it handles so much better, and it's way more powerful. Now this car has the 2-liter, it's the turbocharged engine. I guess it's a detuned version of the Civic Type R. So it has 253 horsepower, 273 foot-pounds of torque, and it might be 252 horsepower. But you know what? I'll tell you something. It feels like it has more power than that. It feels a lot peppier than the numbers indicate. And I saw some dyno numbers from a company called Hondata, Hondata, and when they dynoed it, they had 261 horsepower at the wheels and 291 foot-pounds of torque at the wheels. Now, you do the math and you figure out most autos lose about 15%. Well, do the math, you figure it out. It's torque is north of 300 foot-pounds, and I'm thinking maybe this car's been, they just gave it lower stats for insurance purposes, but it feels more powerful than that. And I think one of the magazines did a 0-60, and they did that in 5.7 seconds. That's pretty fast. Now, the 10-speed automatic, I don't think I've ever reached 10th gear because I haven't gone fast enough, but it's very smooth. And this car, if you close your eyes, and I've owned a car like this before. I had a 2013 BMW 3 Series with the 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. You close your eyes. Of course, I don't recommend that while you're driving, but as a passenger, sure. Close your eyes, get behind the wheel of it, whether you're a passenger or driver, and step on it, and it sounds and feels like a BMW. I mean, it has the dynamics of a Beamer. And you don't have to worry about the wonderful BMW reliability because those are pretty bad. So, very nice to drive. Very sporty, handles great. Like I said, you can see the wheels and tires, very low profile. Look at that. There's a very small rubber tire between you and the road, with the ground, from the wheel to the ground, I should say. And there's your tire size. It's a 235/40/19, and wheels. I guess it takes a little growing on you. It looks kind of like a big propeller, but anywho's, the door handles do have your body color and the chrome on top. I was just a little bummed that it didn't have the sensor on there to open the door. So no puddle lamps. It does have on the mirrors, of course, you have the turn signals built into it, and they look like they're LEDs to me. Let's see how the front headlamps look. You have your DRL on the bottom. You got your turn signal on top. That would have been nice if they were dynamic like Audis. That would have looked totally cool. Let's turn the headlights on and we'll show you what they look like. Move around back to the front here. Very interesting to look at, though. Fog lamps. Same design as the headlights, is smaller. And of course, you can see the intercooler down there. But overall, I'm spending more money. Nobody likes to do that, but you know what? Sometimes money does buy happiness when it comes to the automotive realm here. But I just wanted to share this with you. I'll have to put my GoPro in here and do some driving footage. Of course, I keep saying that I do that for everything I own, but I have never done it. I don't know if I'm really good at depicting that. So anyways, I just wanted to share this with you guys, and special shout out to AutoNation Valencia Honda. My salesman was Brian Gelfand. Go see them. I'll put the information in the description. So if you're in the market for a Honda, personally I would go for the 2-liter, and they do have a manual if you buy the sport version. I really wanted an automatic. I don't want to shift gears, and the problem is you can't get it in the touring, so you lose a lot of the features. So that's my take on this vehicle. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already, and if you'd like to. I'll be back again with another video, hopefully sooner than my last one here. Have a great day. Car Crazy Guy from Santa Clarita, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care easy.